Hi everyone, let's talk about week 9. I'm very excited because we're going to read one of my favorite poetry books this week by Natalie Diaz. So what you're going to do is read the first 39 pages of the book. And then we're also going to be focusing on explication this week, particularly poetry explication. So there's some information in your book. There's also some handouts here that you can look at on the internet. And then down at the bottom, I've just put a few videos here to introduce Natalie Diaz to you. She's quite a fascinating person. She comes from a multicultural background. She also played in the WNBA in Europe. And she's just had sort of a really interesting life. And I think that all comes into her poetry in really interesting ways. So I think you'll also find that her poetry is a lot more accessible and sort of maybe you can relate to it more than other poetry you might have read in the past. She writes in a form that's very narrative, so what that means is she tells stories in her writing, but it's also very lyrical, which means that she uses beautiful metaphors and language to get her points across. All right, so you have some reading assignments and then a quiz on your readings as well as, the first part of the book. There's a discussion on Natalie and sort of how you're feeling about the book so far, what's standing out to you, that sort of thing. And then lastly, there's this explication essay. Now, this is a short essay compared to what we've been working on in the past. And what you're going to do is go through the whole process this week. So you might want to start early on this particular thing. If we look at the rubric, you'll see that, actually, let's look here. This is what you're going to submit. You're going to annotate a stanza of a poem, and you're going to send me a picture of your annotations. You're going to make an informal outline, you're going to draft, and you're going to make a revised draft. Minimum of 2 pages for this paper, so it's not as long as the other ones. You can also check out the rubric down here at the bottom to see exactly what I'm looking for in terms of grading. So this week is the quiz, the discussion, and the explication essay. If you have any questions or problems, let me know. I really hope you enjoy the book.